take us from the 4 a.m. call to how you got funding for, was it 1.4 million? If I remember right. That's when I heard about you folks. So give us the steps, give our audience the steps. How did that happen? From the 4 a.m. call, what all took place?
So
to make that happen.
When we decided to go ahead and work on it, we're like, okay, now we want to do it, but what in the world do we do? And so the first thing that we did was we put our idea in a PowerPoint. We still have that PowerPoint. It's very ugly. But we at least wanted to put out, like think through, okay, what is this? What would it do? What kind of gaps would it fill? So our first step was a PowerPoint. Then from there, the good thing about us is that at that moment in time, we had both established some networks. So Angie had a few friends that worked in tech, as did I. And so we started picking people's brains. So we're like, before we spend $1, like, let's just try to get as much information as we can and see how other people have built platforms before. And that was probably the best thing that we could have done, because there was a lot of things that we could have done incorrectly, because we didn't even know the difference between like a UI UX person and a developer. And learning that, a user experience, user interface type of person. I had no idea that was even different. I didn't even know what they did. UI UX. So that's the person that like designs the platform.
Gives it the look and the feel.
And the flow.
So that's not the developer.
And it's not the developer, the person that puts the code, that actually makes it work. I thought it was all one person. Like, I was like, but it's
too different.
That was like huge for us. Like one of her friends was like, no, find a really good UI UX person first. And then from there, then you find a separate developer. Very rarely can it be one person. But things like that, like we just did not even know. So then from there, we went on platforms like Upwork that had, contractors that did some of these things. And we were able to find somebody that could at least start designing it for us. And then the expense of it, we had no funding. So we literally were paying people like by the day. We're like, we only got this much money. We
can only afford 5 hours.
Do not go beyond 5 hours. If it's like,
we can't pay you for it.
Halfway done.
Just stop where you are.
Stop.
Yeah.
And we had to do that. Like, we tried to research how to get funding. We would go on venture capital websites and they were like, oh, we fund at day 0. So we would reach out to them, but they would always say, oh, you're too early. So we knew that was a lie as far as like the day 0
so not
thing.
Day 0.
Not day 0. So it was a lot of that. So we realized we had to just bootstrap. And honestly, like, we just put one foot in front of the other. It was like one thing. Like, we were finally able to scrap enough to at least get the design of it. And then from there, then it was like, okay, now we can code it. But we did a lot even just with the design, because we can at least show people, it's not working, but we can show you our vision for it. So that helped a lot. But then from there, we're like, if we can just get it to the point of like it being in the App Store, if we can find a developer who can help us at least get it to the App Store. It might be ugly. It might not be working that great. But if we can at least get it to the App Store, then we can at least start getting some user acquisition, some validation. So we were able to launch in the App Store of September 2020.
Yeah. But it took a lot to get there. When people were talking about pull yourself up by the bootstraps, we were like wearing Crocs. I mean, we didn't have a boot. We didn't have a strap.
Nice.
We didn't have anything. So when Deborah was saying that we were going from paycheck to paycheck, like, I made the choice of like, emptied out my 401k so that we can, fund this and savings. And Deborah has children. She has 3 kids, so there was a lot of things that we put on the line just to get it in the App Store so we can get it into people's hands and things like that. But it was a lot of risks that we took.